Dance is your chance. I'm doing the hump. Oh, tell me, baby. Humpty Dance, Digital Underground are having a good time today. Quick recap. We talked about the G League being dismembered and put to rest at the end of the year. Thank you to Adam Silver for wasting young people's time. Also, we talked about Kobe Bryant and his parents auditioning for the worst parents in the world. We talked about Wink Martindale being the highest paid assistant at the college level, and also in the history of Michigan football. But is he really worth it? Hopefully, we will find that out in the fall. Gonna jump to the National Football League, where the NFL Players Association is asking the NFL to not outlaw the controversial tackle, citing further confusion for the players. Now, this is out of CBS Sports and Brian Diardo, as he writes that the Players Union does not want the league owners to vote in favor of penalizing the hip drop tackle. During the next season's annual league meeting, the hip drop tackle is one of 6 proposals that the NFL owners will vote on next week. During last year's league meeting, NFL executive Jeff Miller said that the hip drop tackle increased the rate of injury by 25%, which is why the league wants it outlawed. However, the NFL Players Association remains committed to improving the game and the health and safety in the mind of all of the players, and we cannot support a rule change that causes confusion for us as players, for coaches and officials, and especially the fans. The NFL Players Union said in a statement, "We call on the NFL again to reconsider implementing this rule." So what's a hip drop? And what kind of penalty does it carry? Now, it carries a 15-yard penalty if the defender grabs the runner with both hands or wraps the runner with both arms and unweights himself by swiveling and dropping his hips and or lower body, landing on and trapping the runner's legs at or below the knee. So you're trying to say a wrap-up tackle is now illegal in the NFL. We're trying to say a wrap-up tackle now is illegal in the NFL because this sounds like a standard tackle. Nothing dirty, a cheap shottish about that. I can see how that would confuse anybody. But how did we get here? How did we get here? Diardo writes, the hip drop tackle became more prevalent after rules were put in place to protect against concussions. Defenders, instead of hitting high, have instead focused on making tackles by wrapping up players around the midsection. While concussions have declined over the past decade, lower extremity strains have become more significant in the NFL in terms of time lost. Now, the Players Association will point out the fact that lower extremity injuries reached a 4-year low in 2023. So, let me get this straight. So, if it's all about player safety, why not have them play less games? Why not have them play less games? Why do you have the Pro Bowl at the end of the season? The Pro Bowl should be in the middle of the season. That way the guys who didn't make the Pro Bowl can get an extra week of rest. If this is all about improving player safety, why don't you still take those 3 games that you try to add on to get to 17? Or people trying to add an extra game, how about you just take 3 games, make them preseason games, and make the preseason games actually count for something and mean for something. Put the Pro Bowl in the middle of the season. Now we're fooling with tackles in the way people make money. I get it. You want to minimize concussions. Okay. Tackle low. Wrap up the defenders. Bring them down. Wait. Not so fast. You possibly can't hit them low and wrap them up or do some sort of hip tackle because lower extremity injuries are high. But not so fast again. The numbers are at a 4-year low. I'm no genius by any stretch of the imagination, but but who again, I'm no genius by any stretch of the imagination, but who can actually follow this? Because now you're saying that I can't hit them low. Then you're saying now I can't. Well, you cut down on me hitting people high because concussions were high, but now concussions are at a decade low. And pretty much everybody still gets concussions. People still get concussions, but not as much. Then you're saying that when you went to the system that you can't hit them high, now lower extremity injuries are jumping out the window. And that's not the case either, because the Players Association is telling you that lower extremities are at a 4-year low in 2023. So, I mean, it's got to be something. It's an even split. The Ravens tight end, Mark Andrews, was among the notable players who suffered a serious injury as a result of a hip drop tackle in 2023. Now, he missed Baltimore's final 6 games after being tackled by Bengals linebacker Logan Wilson. Andrews said after the game he didn't have any thoughts regarding the tackle and whether or not it should be banned. His teammate at the time, Patrick Queen, railed against tackling outlawed. He said, "I hate that Mark is hurt. Prayers for him. But at the end of the day, we play football. We play a tackling sport. I don't think a hip drop tackle is a bad thing. How else do you want us to tackle? Just let the guys run past you?" I think I'm in the Queen camp on that one. I'm in the Queen camp on that one because in the Queen camp, this is how they make money in tackling. And if you're saying that, no, now wrapping up someone from the waist down and then putting your weight on them to bring them down, now that is illegal and it's a 15-yard penalty. You've just extended the game of football beyond belief. And you've confused referees, because that should have been a normal tackle. That should have been a normal tackle a year ago. But now that somehow would be illegal. Again, we go back to what's a catch, what's not a catch. There's so many ridiculous rules in the NFL, and it's really so minute. And it's just like, if you catch the ball and then you go to the ground and the ball pops out, well, it's a fumble, or it's an incomplete catch, or you've got to make a football move. When you catch it, you have to turn. Come on, man. Come on. Again, if you're an NFL fan and you're an NFL rigid rules thumper of the rule book and a stickler, how does this doesn't even match what you see in high school. In high school, everything you see on a high school and a collegiate level, you have to kind of suspend that when you look at the NFL, because you're not going to be able to tackle below the waist. You're not going to be able to tackle high. You might as well just give the guys flags at this point. This is flag football with pads. Again, I digress. So, NFL fans, how do you feel about it? You feel like you're getting the best product on the field when you take away how a guy makes money and tackle? I know some of these places are like, oh, there's no such thing as defense. Yes, because the owners want it that way. Everybody wants to run up scores. Nobody wants to pin their ears back and do the dirty work. And then when you start penalizing a regular tackle where you're wrapping guys up and bringing them down, then this has gone beyond football.